This game is going to be straight up peak. Pokopia's got the extended trailer right here. We're going to essentially analyze this by counting up the Pokemon that we see, and maybe just mentioning things that we see as well that are cool, right? The opening scene. You're going to have Combee, Heracross, Mawile, Growlithe, Eevee, Pidgeot, and of course, as we transition into the next scene too, it's like of the same scene, quote unquote, but there's Oddish you can see a lot better. It should be pretty obvious too, but the trees are just riddled with Lepa berries. The Lepa berry restored 10 PP, and of course used in various things like Pokemon Sleep, for example. It begs the obvious question, this being a game that's similar to Animal Crossing, like are we gonna have islands that have unique berries, you know? So like my island could have Lepa, but yours maybe has cherry berries or something, Chesto berries. We'll see, but yeah, this next scene over is going to be Bulbasaur. You see that it's got a heart. It's very cute. If we go back actually to the last scene, Eevee was seen with the heart as well, and so I think like after they do a specific task, let's say it's like Squirtle watering the grass or something, I think that they'll put the heart up maybe. But alright, let's get back into it. Meowth sleeping on the bench, and he had Drillbur in the back there. I should specify that we're gonna act like this trailer, we haven't seen anything before in the way of counting Pokemon in the game, meaning let's just kind of act like we're seeing all these Pokemon for the first time, like we're gonna confirm it that way, just to tell how many are in here. I should also note that in certain scenes you can see trees maybe just in the background a little bit, like they're still kind of close up. The leaves have like a section where they're kind of waving. I get the feeling that that could of course certainly be like wind or weather effect or whatever, just like a nice little touch, but it could also be like a Weedle or Kakuna or something, you know, just in the tree. Leave it open to possibilities, right? You gotta love, of course, in the logo that the eye, the little dot in the eye, it's got a ditto smile. I think we all knew what was coming up right here with Tangrowth. I mean, we didn't realize Tangrowth was gonna be the professor, but I think we all knew when we saw, hey, this Tangrowth has like little glasses and stuff like that. We were like, this is gonna be the professor. But yeah, you have like the console, the little PC, all this stuff. It's supposed to be essentially just a wasteland, and we're actually gonna look at a little bit more information because the Pokemon Pokopia, they did actually have the website. So I'll look at that after we go through the trailer, right? They put out the website and it has some extra information, maybe? I actually haven't looked at all of it, so we'll kind of explore it together, right? But yeah, I mean, the music, very fitting, I would say. You know, like this is very Animal Crossing, but very kind of like, it could be child-friendly, but I think it also could be adults who want to satisfy the child inside, right? You know, I think it's gonna be for all of us. So we've seen a scene at least similar to this, if not this kind of exact, like little sequence in some, let's say to a certain degree, when they first did the trailer, right? First Nintendo Direct Pokopia trailer and stuff. Ditto, it's gonna see on the Pokedex there is a little picture of a trainer. They certainly were intentional, right? That there's some like dust, there's dirt, and it's blocking out the trainer's face. That's because you are the trainer. You get to make the person look like whatever you want them to. The Ditto person, we should say. One thing to say about just sort of the lay of the land, obviously it's like, you know, we're thinking akin to Animal Crossing, but also like Minecraft. When you think about Pokemon Quest and stuff, like kind of giving me those vibes too, but because it's giving Minecraft and Animal Crossing, sure it has its own unique art style, but it also is going to be something that I think will make it easier to terraform the land. You know, it's going to be sort of just like blocks, right? Like a grid system, you could say. And you gotta love the voiceover right here. I mean, props to you, girl. They definitely wanted it to be like very friendly sounding, right? You know, like they will never ever choose me, even though I would love it for a Pokemon trailer, at least one that isn't edgy. You know, my voice is just way too edgy. I should have done like Champions or something.
Ditto's found a rather unique-looking Tangrowth to chat with.
But wait a minute, are you a Ditto? Yes, they are, and there it is, Professor Tangrowth. All like, what is it, 20 of you Tangrowth stands? You guys get some Tangrowth love up in here. That is great. I feel like it's a Pokemon that maybe a new Pokemon Snap gets some love, but I don't know. Needs a little bit more, right? So there is a lot here, even though this is like the Wasteland version, you know, before we really repaired it, right? Like we got this crumbled down Pokemon Center. The console still works right here. I guess we should call it the PC. But yeah, like there's a horsey fountain. Even the walkway, like the walkway's a little bit decorative. It's just all smashed up and stuff. Lots of dead and dying, decaying plants and things, mushrooms, there's rocks everywhere, even these 2x4s and just the wood structures and things. It is all a mess. So will you help restore this land to the lively place it once was? We have our story, ladies and gentlemen. There's even like a bulletin board you could see. It's kind of very Animal Crossing, right? And so I do think we're kind of fitting into the Pokemon like design theme, but it also looks very Animal Crossing, that sign, right, for the bulletin board. It feels very akin. It's just maybe a nice touch, but there's, yeah, like little fences that aren't really finished and stuff. And I guess you can see also maybe some of the different environments, you know, like there's shale or like stone right there and grass right here. And then there was even makings of this kind of looks like a gym facility or something, you know, like there's a punching bag right there on the left side. But yeah, create habitats and meet Pokemon. It's the obvious, right? So we're gonna create a habitat that's gonna attract Pokemon, and why not just start out with Peak and go Charmander, my favorite Pokemon of all time, first right here. I don't think sequentially that will happen in the game. Something tells me that after like Tangrowth, after the Ditto, of course, I feel like we're gonna see Squirtle as like one of the first ones, because you're gonna need somebody to water all this grass. Like, look at this, Charmander coming out the grass. You're probably gonna need a Squirtle to revitalize that, but hey, who knows? So yeah, we saw Combee again, but there's Jigglypuff and we got Pidgey. You gotta assume, of course, you know, if we see like the evolved form of a Pokemon, like there's Wartortle, we already know there's Squirtle, but for instance, we saw Pidgeot earlier, and then we see Pidgey, but yeah, you got Shellos, both forms. Slowpoke, did I say that? This is the Bulbasaur technique right there. And the Horsea Fountain again in the background, but we've got Timber. So you create the habitats that suit each Pokemon's individual preferences, right? So they put up this punching bag again. Yeah, Hitmonchan right there. So you may actually need to put down an item that would actually like attract that kind of Pokemon, right? Fishing rod and a chair right here. So then there's Magikarp. So imagine the, you know, maybe old rod, super rod, etc. Maybe a different fishing rod is going to bring different water type Pokemon, or at least the fish-like Pokemon. Combee and Eevee all over again. Then we got Scyther. We have seen a lot of these in the trailers already. Actually, some of them I can't recall, but like for instance, Machop is in here. This is neat. It gives us like a lot of them. Gulpin, of course, Pikachu, Executor. I'm not going in any order. Kanto starters up above. Larvitar front and center, and of course Vespiquen. And look at this. I wonder if there's a Pokemon in there. Of course there is. We all love trash, right? Yep, it's your friend Trubbish. But yeah, you see here, look at much more of the land is not green. It's withered. And so that's why I feel like Squirtle, that's going to be one of your first ones. It's just my theory, you guys, because look at that. They're going to be probably like, oh look, a Squirtle's here and there's tall grass right there that needs to be revitalized. So boom, revitalize it. And oh look, you're going to learn about, who knows, your trees and stuff. You know, you revitalize the trees and get your berries. But yeah, Hitmonchan, you can do the crazy cool punching right here. We did see this in the first trailer with Drillbur. You can kind of, I feel like I saw a kid on the playground who used to do that. He used to run forward and have his arms like go in circles like that. But of course, Scyther, you're gonna scythe, essentially cut. Cue the HMs. We are the HMs, you guys. And Lapras. Lapras is beautiful, and then we can transform into Lapras. Ditto Lapras. Just amazing. Everybody wanted to see this, right? A ditto-headed Lapras. Oh my gosh. And so, of course, Dragonite. Very cool. What looks better, this big-headed Ditto Dragonite or Mega Dragonite? You decide in the comments. But yeah, you're going to be able to fly around, swim around, and go to all the different spots and islands and points on just this presumably huge map. Use your water gun right here on the tall grass. We were looking at that before, but that's kind of, again, a way to revitalize. Listen, Professor Tangrowth says, I haven't withered away yet, you know. Well, yeah, you and me both, brother. Craft fun things. You guys, who doesn't want to craft fun things? This looks like it's Pokemon heaven in a video game. So we're going to go Venonat, Diglett. There's surprisingly not a lot going on in the backgrounds yet. I think, you know, as we kind of make it through the trailer a little bit more and it's like less withered, then it's going to be just this exciting world full of Pokemon. Yeah, there's the crafting bench or table. This is very Animal Crossing. Just look at the UI and stuff. I mean, obviously the graphics looking a little bit Pokemon, right? Unique, but yeah, the straw bed, it's a little bit itchy. Doesn't bother Pokemon. They'll snooze away just fine on this. You're gonna see kind of grayed out right now is like the little chairs, tables, and a campfire. And then there's gonna be different categories. We had it set to all right here. But yeah, there you go. You made one straw bed. What should be noted also, just to go back to it, is you can look at the details of something, sure, but it's 2 leaf material, 2 leaves. That's going to be needed. And you can see it says relaxation, so I think the items, it's probably very obvious when you see that, but the items will just have like different categories for them. Okay, this improves relaxation. Maybe there's one that's like morale or something, you know, sanity in Pal World. Oh, did I say a no word, Pal World? But yeah, this is great because you can use those items. The voiceover said like furniture and toys, street lights, roads. I think the customization will be pretty great. There's a windmill up in here. There's your street lights and the vending machines. And look at this. There's even a nice little bridge to go across those troubled waters. So here you go. This is the kind of scene that I was talking about, is like, I think they're going to do more and more of these, if I recall, in the trailer. And so this is where they're kind of hiding stuff, or maybe even not hiding, but it's just like, we are going to have to look around. As you see Psyduck on that bench, Pidgeot again. This is where that horsey fountain is, but now that it's revitalized, it's shooting the water out, not only all the sides, but also out of Horsey's little mouth. But yeah, presumably the Palmy Evolution line is going to be up in here. Heracross was on the side, but this is what I'm talking about, where they hide something. I might actually not know what this is right now. Analyzing it, we got to zoom in, but I think that was either Floette or Dreepy. Very tiny up there. But also Gulpin, look way up high. So this is kind of cool, right? We have like multiple levels. It's like you've got your ground level, you've got kind of this level 1, if you want to call it that. I'm just talking about like the stairs leading up. You can do so much. Like, I feel like you could probably, let's not say infinite, but I feel like you could probably go up so many levels, right? I don't know, a lot. But yeah, the house, at least presumably that's a house. It's pink. Abra sleeping on the straw bed right here. Totally cute. We got Timber once again. Slowpoke is in the background. And this is where we're watching, right? We're trying to see, but nothing new quite yet. And yes, toy blocks. Who's that gonna attract? They don't know how to use them. There's Alakazam. So is that who that attracts? Kind of cool, right? Grant Pokemon's requests. Yes, we are going to grant requests. You gotta wonder, can every single Pokemon like request something? That would be nuts. But Slowpoke says, "Oh, but hold on. The ground's really bumpy around here, right? It's hard to walk." Normally, it would probably speak so much slower than that, but listen, I'm on the clock. Squirtle wants to go somewhere. Still kind of in the withered part right now. I'm so curious about what's on the other side, so we have to find out what is the way that we can lead them where they want to go. Well, just start punching things. Very Hitmonchan of us. And so Squirtle's happy, gonna get to the other side. And Onix, one of my top 5 favorite Pokemon of all time. It's saying, I hate to admit it, I've been stuck here so long that I've got barely any strength left to break out. No, Onix, say it ain't so. Normally Onix is just like gigantoid, so are they, you gotta wonder what the scaling is gonna be like, right? So an important request is underway. I feel like they will. They'll probably have like quote unquote side requests, right? And then like important ones, right? And the important request is going to keep the story moving along. It's going to be kind of required, let's say, for certain things. It would warm this old heart to see humans and Pokemon living happily together once more. Are you listening? This is my life with my wife, dude. I could be telling her the most important thing in the world. If it's bedtime, she's falling asleep. Like, it doesn't matter what I'm saying. Work together with Pokemon. Oh yeah, not only the Kanto starters, but we got Pichu. And then in the next scene over, it's gonna be Cubone. And so Charmander gonna help us light the campfire. But yeah, Bulbasaur, it's gonna help the crops grow. But you see, this is what I was wondering about, is you can see that the berries right here, they look different, right? I think that those kind of look like Aspir berries. That was one in the games that would cure the frozen. It would defrost a frozen Pokemon. Pichu helped us light the way. And there's a little voiceover note, but also the text that says if you can work together with several Pokemon, you can even build grand houses. So it's like, okay, you know, one Pokemon does one task, but you can have like multiple Pokemon building. So here it is. Yeah, Timber, of course, giving us what do you think?
I'm pretty good with this lumber, right? You should watch me build. I'm a total pro.
While Timber and Scyther are just kind of talking, but Kanto starters and Pidgey are all actually building. And then Timber can celebrate when it's all done. I'm just kidding. I'm just being difficult here, Timber. But yes, everybody's so happy. We have a little log cabin house. The Pikachu fountain is complete. I wonder how many fountains there are of Pokemon, right? And it's surfing Pikachu, except Ditto. Curious expression, right? Ditto Chew. So many ways to play, which is amazing, right? I think this is gonna be that game. We're gonna do the story, but like Animal Crossing New Horizons, like there's gonna be lots of other things you can do. Amazing. Photo mode. But wait a second, there's something back here. You can actually see it shining in the photo. So something gave a little shine, and I was wondering, is that a Zygarde cell or is it just something you pick up, materials you pick up, right? Like, I don't know, leaf, something for building. But yeah, we've already counted the Pokemon that were in the picture. You gotta love Pikachu's expression right there. But yeah, we've got Happiny, we have Mime Jr., and then this one's pretty cool, Lucario. You gotta look at Arcanine and Charizard. And we're seeing Haxorus, and of course the wonderful Tyranitar. So yeah, photo mode, you're gonna have an album that you can add the memories to. I always love photo mode. It's like every Switch 2 game right now has a photo mode, and I love it. But obviously you can change how you look. The hairstyle, it says buns. Then there's an undercut. We got a decent look at the other hairstyles here. There aren't too many, and I just have to wonder, you know, like, do you unlock others? But there's headwear, so all these different hats and things. But presumably it does go further down, so presumably there are other things, like here's maybe a hat with sunglasses. But yeah, some of the outfits are like a theme, right? Like a sailor theme or a dojo, the instructor, the karate theme. And don't forget to decorate your room. This is where I feel like people are gonna get so nuts. It depends on how far this lets us go, but straight up game room right here. This is the streaming room. They got like arcade machines. It's very Porygon-like, but yeah, these little like honeycomb hexagon lights. Even the bed is kind of neon looking, but yeah, there's like a key light that looks like a Pokeball. Dope setup. The chair is RGB. But then this next scene was interesting because this is multiplayer with 4 people. We knew in a previous trailer, I think it was the direct, we saw 2 people, but it's like just before they kind of cut away as they're building the roof right here. Look at this player with the blonde. I feel like they're doing like a gulpin or something, but it cuts away really fast. So that's either just a funny expression or there is some kind of skill being used, and we don't really get to see it. But yeah, I do like this. Everybody kind of working together. It says, why not build a delightful life together with your closest friends? Cue the SpongeBob meme.
The gang's all here.
You gotta love that Bulbasaur can be the jump rope all by itself. And yes, you use the Pokédex to take the pictures, even selfie style. And of course, game share. Anybody that hasn't done a game share, you can actually share your game to a console that doesn't even have it. And you can even share it to a Switch 1, quote unquote. It's kind of nuts. I actually haven't done it myself though. I've just seen, it's kind of seems available on a lot of games. Why does seeing you like this make my eyes a bit misty? So yes, misty themed. What, we gonna have like trainer looks that we can do, you know? The misty outfit. But okay, another one of those scenes with a lot of things in it. You see Tyrogue kind of close to the foreground. Heracross, Squirtle, Pinsir, Pidgeot again, Pichu again, Scyther again. Charmander's actually back there behind the Pinsir. They're kind of like moving at the same time. There's also a bell up top, whether we can use that or not. You know, it may ring on every hour or like at noon or something. But whether you're solo or with friends, you're free to do whatever you want. I think that's the key word, right? We all love that. There probably has to be some certain amount of like story that is required, you know, just to get to where you want to get to. But we're back here. This is very similar to the scene we saw before. But yeah, everybody indoors right here. We got Mareep, Espeon, Vulpix, Gardevoir. You got a little Litwick and Cinccino. And then this is great. Jigglypuff's like, I'm going to do a concert, but then everybody, of course, is falling asleep. Another look at Oddish. I should say, actually, with that Jigglypuff scene, this is very insignificant probably, but there's just like little particle effects and stuff. It's just dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind, you guys. But yeah, we got Goodra. Look at Lapras peeking out over there. Of course, Slowpoke. Charmander, my dude. Heracross is way in the background. And then we finally get a look at this. I think this is confirming that it's Dreepy, not Floette or something. Because then look at this. Like they go another scene and it's over on the far right side. But yeah, this scene is nuts because like you finally see Onix is out there. And again, I don't think that the scale is correct with Onix. And that's okay, kind of. But Cacturne, Umbreon. And when you just look at this, especially slowed down or just over and over again, I feel like one of the nice things is just that these Pokemon Pokemon are all going to be sort of just chatting or having interactions together, it makes it feel really like it is this like lively village. You know, in Animal Crossing, sometimes you see the villagers, they'll be talking to each other or laughing or whatever. Well, I feel like this game is going to have like that even further, maybe. But yes, Pokemon Pokopia, you guys, are you excited? Well, I hope so, because now look at this. They have this little like almost cinematic version of it all. We learn that this is Smear Guru, but then there's a light, and what is this? It's Pikachu. Yeah, the pale Pikachu. And I was actually, when I was first seeing this, I was like, are they gonna release a new Pokemon completely, like to the dex that is from this game? But no, I think it's like, it is a Pikachu, it is a Smeargle. Coming up right here, this is Mosslax, it is a Snorlax, for example. So I don't think that they're actually putting out like new dex entries, you know, via this game. That would be crazy. But yeah, I think these are just kind of characters, sort of like Professor Tangrowth, you know, so. You guys, March 5th, 2026, that's at least the North American date. This is a game key card. Please go research that if you want to know. But yeah, digital version you can pre-order now. And of course, if you do the early purchase, you're going to get a Ditto rug. You can claim that actually all the way into 2027, so no hurry, right? But please hurry. So I did just want to show people that there is the Pokopia.pokemon.com, and it'll fit to your territory and stuff. But look at how many more Pokemon we can see in this scene, for example. They actually, I think on like Twitter and stuff and all their socials, they showed a picture that looked kind of like this, and it had a lot less. We'll analyze it, but this one like includes Professor Tangrowth and Pikachu, you know, so like I think those character Pokemon and whatnot, they will sort of just be in the world. They're Smear Guru. But yeah, let's kind of go like left to right, top and bottom, of course, at the same time here. So Sudowoodo talking with a Farfetch'd. You've got Torchic. There's a Spinarak kind of amongst the trees. Down below is Piplup and Lapras. You can see Zorua's head popping up right here with Palmy and Happiny. Up above again, there's Drifloon. Go down again is Paris. You've got Poliwag, Magikarp. There's Tatsugiri, Bellsprout, Psyduck, and Meryl. Did I say Slowpoke? I think I did. But yeah, Eevee Oddish with the player right here, and another player, Trainer Ditto, Gulpin, and Pikachu here near the Pokemon Center. But going back down, there's Pidgey, we have Charmander, we have Diglett, we have Bulbasaur with the heart vines, we've got Minchino over there, kind of on the right, Makuhito with Snorlax, there's Drillbur once again, but also Pinsir and Scyther battling it out. You know, it's like not Pinsir-Heracross rivalry, but doing some training way up above. Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee, they're letting the waterfall kind of hit their backs. It's training, you remember. But yeah, if I didn't mention it, Combee as well amongst the flowers. It's fun. Like, I feel like there's going to be so many Pokemon. I may actually keep like a running tally as we mention new Pokemon. Maybe there has been like a number in editing. If not, I'm doing it now. Yep, releasing on Nintendo Switch 2. We should say it is exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2. Savor the slow life with a relaxing life simulation game devoted to crafting, creating, and building. Play as a Ditto and build a new life with Pokemon from the ground up. With help from your Pokemon friends, rebuild a desolate world into a charming utopia one step at a time. This says explore. I think that those are cherry berries, right? And so that's the question, right? Again, of like, do you have your own native berries to your island, quote unquote, like Animal Crossing fruit? Or can you plant the new berries as you find them? Maybe it's both. I feel like, I can't even remember if I said Paris, dude. I just the memory of a goldfish or a Goldeen here. You have to imagine that those twigs, kind of like in Animal Crossing again, that those can be picked up maybe because they're here in the patches of dirt like the berries right now in this like quote unquote screenshot on the website. But yeah, here's some other screenshots on the website, so we'll probably go through a lot of these. Most of them I think were in the trailer, whether it was the direct or this extended trailer right here. But yeah, Bulbasaur using leafage, build a Pokemon paradise, yes, Squirtle. And look at this. See, here's like some extra probably, but I don't think that there's a new Pokemon that we haven't seen yet, so we probably won't go count all those up. Just look at them, right? But as Azurill and Vaporeon in this screenshot, and I think that's Wingull flying up above. So yeah, looking good. Arcanine is peeking out right here, and there's Riolu sleeping on the bed. A little Pokédoll. All right, Leafeon, Sylveon. There's actually Dragonair in the background, which is pretty neat. Looks amazing. Blossom, Flaffy, and I think this is Mime Jr.'s hair. Build a Pokemon paradise, we said. Create a charming world built alongside your Pokemon friends. After a satisfying day of crafting, building, and gardening, relax in your very own paradise or invite Pokemon and your friends to visit. The choice is yours. Unique Pokemon pals. I think we'll see those in a second. So here, we're going to look at the Explore tab. Cultivate a new world. Oh man, this game's going to be so much fun. Okay, at least I think. Pokemon and people once lived happily together, but the world has withered and the humans are gone. The only remaining resident is a lone Tangrowth living alone in the wasteland. So yes, we will help you, Professor Tangrowth. After waking from a long slumber, a peculiar Ditto decides to restore the desolate land using its transformation skills and its surprising new crafting abilities. And so these are cute screenshots. I think they do come from the trailer mostly. Okay, here's this one. We have Cast Form, little Goomy. There's like a bicycle wheel at least, so probably a bicycle right there. Lotad. And would you look at this? It's not just Wooper, but it's Paldean Wooper, Ludicolo. And of course, another look at Poliwag and Bulbasaur. Get to know your Pokemon pals at your own pace as you all work together to build a cozy utopia. I feel like I'm reading some of this multiple times, and yeah, seeing some of these screenshots multiple times. It's okay. Okay, settling in. This empty land is a blank slate brimming with promising possibilities. Make the most of your world by restoring and cultivating its natural beauty. As things get greener, you'll encounter more Pokemon. Learn useful moves from other Pokemon. Use leafage to grow plants, break walls with Rock Smash, surf upon the open seas, or glide between mountains. Craft items and furniture, then decorate your space however you want. That's right, we will. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be like Bulbasaur, Squirtle during the first day, maybe some of the first two Pokemon that you meet, and then like when it hits nighttime, it's going to be Charmander. Like they're going to ask us to build a campfire, and we need to light it somehow. And so yeah, we kind of got to look at most of these scenes. And they built the house right there. They're all excited. Your Pokemon neighbors are excited to join you on your adventures, whether it's playing together or helping you build houses to welcome even more friends. Building your paradise. Yes, Onyx once again. Pretty sure we've seen these. Yeah, these are the clips from the extended trailer. Pokemon might ask for your help. Working with them will take you one step closer to a cozy Pokemon utopia. More ways to play. Yes, what are more ways to play? Well, it's probably just saying like, hey, you don't have to like only just follow a story. Look, you can do crops, you can do photo mode, you can make your own room, make houses, do everything, man. It's gonna be great. Transforming the world means evolving your personal and playstyle too. From updating your hairstyle and outfit to visiting friends and taking photos of your creations together, there are so many ways to enjoy a world built by and for you. So okay, when we click the Discover tab, that's where we see a few friendly faces. Let's take a look at some of the extraordinary Pokemon you might encounter as you work to make your world a better place. Professor Tangrowth, affectionately known as Professor Tangrowth, this Pokemon is a vital guide to you and all the Pokemon you meet. Yes, it's a Tangrowth. See, this is why I think, like, it's not going to be some new Dex entry called Pikachu, right? What an unusually pale Pikachu. They have the actual circle of the Pokemon that it is. So I think, again, they're just characters. I know that's probably obvious to a lot of you. I'm just saying. Mosslax. Moss has grown all over this Snorlax, and a flower sways atop its head. How long has it been asleep? Super long. Smearguru. What a colorful chum. You're a colorful bunch. It looks like quite the prolific painter. And it is a Smeargle, if that was not obvious. Such curious new friends. What else is there to discover? Probably so many. The digital and game keycard versions of Pokemon Pokopia are available for pre-order. Okay, you guys, please let me know what you saw. We're going to be covering this game more as more stuff comes out and whatnot. Please subscribe, and thanks for viewing.